Some of you big backs, y'all got to stop being so thirsty for a man. There's a man out there for you, okay? This woman believed all of this because she wanted to believe all of this. Big back belief isn't like everybody else's belief, okay? She said it herself. He said everything I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
She wanted to believe whatever was coming out of his mouth because she wanted a man so bad.
Peace and blessings, family. Sister Julie, I can't believe I did not plug in my mic, so I lost everything that I just said, but that's good because maybe I can be more concise. Do you want to shut Charlamagne the fraud up in terms of how ludicrous he is? It's so easy. It's just so easy. I don't care how he and other mindless instigating agents are promoted. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how just regular little old you and me, who represent the overwhelming majority of black us, are giving these guys fear, absolute fear. Not from us. We ain't going, I do not support violence. We don't have to do a daggone thing. The one and only is doing it all, okay? So this dude is so, this chair, it says it all right? But the headline that made me pay attention was Charlamagne the God is slammed for fat phobia after branding plus-size women big backs who are thirsty for a man, while discussing TikToker Risa Teesa's viral Who TF Did I Marry series. I know what TF means, okay? This was one of those things where these dudes promote themselves as lords of wisdom, and all they are is frightened pontificators. Where, what the hell does this chair mean? Absolutely not a damn thing. But just zip procyon loitering. I'm not allowed to say the C double eyeball N thing, okay? Where you're not ensuring anyone's perpetuation by just putting this ridiculous chair up here like you're supposed to be listened to. I've seen this guy, he had this Jewish man on his show, and he was groveling. Charlamagne, and you know who was groveling. It wasn't the Jewish guy. He was groveling. That's the only other time I listen to Charlamagne, and just in general when I see him. He's just, you could just look at him, and he has this nasty look in his eyes because he's empty. He's cold-hearted, brutal. But how you shut somebody like that up and lose weight at the same time? By seeing the big picture, and I don't mean whether or not this woman, Risa, is overweight. She is. She is. Did she hear what she wanted to hear from her ex-husband, and now she's just dragging the whole thing out so she could get views and money off of TikTok? Yes, she did. But there's plenty of skinny Vogue model cover magazine chicks out there who also are desperate for whatever the heck it is they're desperate for. Maybe they're desperate for money. And you see bunches of them just walking around naked as a jaybird these days with a little thin veneer of a see-through nightgown over them, doing whatever they have been deluded into thinking is more important than their self-respect. And so to just accuse a fat black woman of having this quality, it's a game. But there's plenty of fat people in all nations. Are there a preponderance of fat black women? Probably, yes, there is. But you know that we got factors that no other people on this planet have, which is we as a people, we are targeted for stereotypes. I've said it before, lots of Korean dramas. I've never seen a Korean drama where it's just not taken as a given that everybody is supposed to get drunk. That's considered the funnest scene, and one of the biggest medical maladies that happen in Asian societies is cirrhosis of the liver, fatty liver disease. They tear their livers apart. But you know what? There's nobody who is targeting the Koreans for stereotyping. But if that were black us, oh my God, I've said it before. The Asians, they give fried chicken for Christmas. Do you imagine if we did that? Well, that's what we're born into. Does that mean that we got raced out of Blackistan? Where you racing to but the devil? Ain't nothing gonna save you coming from these liars and defrauders and scamsters. They're killing everything. You're talking about a people who send out threats. Oh, we're going to drop the mother of all bombs. They wage wars every other day. They're lying about killing the Pacific Ocean. And you're going to run to them as if it's some sort of help? I mean, that screams that you're on the merry-go-round of just what they want you to feel about blackness. When you get out and you see how many of their own they murder on the constant historically, and then you'll know, no, these and how you gonna run to a people if you haven't figured out yourself, and then you're gonna run to a people you don't begin to understand as if it's a rescue. No, you're gonna be a pet so that you can't speak up, and then your children, when they're born, that's the end of black you. So if you want to go ahead. But just don't go thinking that is some sort of pro-black move. Don't speak against us like you are some God that's coming with life and more abundantly, and all you bring in is more low self-esteem to us. So Dr. She did this share that, I've been pondering it for days, as proof of how powerful our big black mouths are. This is how you can lose weight and shut Charlamagne up at the same time, which is this freak over on the left, not my king, Dr. She on the right there. That's the sanest black man I've ever known. But Raymond Levine, he has another name for himself, and I don't agree with it. So Raymond Levine has said they're going to start starting a program, which means they're going to be offering money in the black community. They say, oh, the black community is being disproportionately affected by climate change, not by environmental pollution, where they're literally, they will set up different facilities that are destructive to the environment nearer black communities. That's a reality. But Fukushima wasn't nowhere near the hood, right? The Pacific Ocean ain't nowhere near the hood. All the things you see because of this Maris map right here, and I thank whoever decided to make it available once again, because God damn it, when you do stuff like this to the planet, you better start fessing up, because you can't hide this, right? And so when you, is friggin' Harlem right in the middle of the Pacific Ocean? No, it's not. When you see all the different weather systems being changed all over the planet, those tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, they aren't just happening to the black community. So when I listened to Dr. She's video, I was just so grateful for how community saves itself, because there's no way that I could think of everything all at once. Your comments expand my perception, all the possibilities I've ever considered. I'm so much more because of your comments. And Dr. She stated that with this program, they're going to be giving money out. And I said, wait a minute, they're going to be giving money out because they're saying that black people are so worried about the environment? When did black people care about the environment? When I started this, they didn't. I don't know if it's me specifically, but all I know is that there's also a video with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talking about radiation in the food. I don't know when he did that or whatever, but all I'm saying is nobody was talking about nuclear. That's what he says. He says, nuclear's in the ground. I was like, whoa, go. You tell it, minister. So for them to be funding all of these little organizations out here that then what are they going to do? They're going to give the script about climate change, which is that it's caused by your fossil-fueled car. And they won't mention a daggone thing about all this radiation found every single place on the earth. And all these little things they're doing to fix it, as I showcase from the World Economic Forum's IG site, where they're going to seed the clouds. They're already doing that. They're doing the chemtrails. And they're doing it over the sea. They're not doing it over the hood. Okay? They're dropping whole friggin' kelp farms into the ocean. Why? Because kelp and all sea vegetation absorbs massive quantities of radiation. That's why they're sending sea moss to the black community specifically. That's why they're sending the radioactive rice, which is a crop you grow above the sea. But they're just shipping it straight from Fukushima for free to African and Caribbean nations. Right? And so they're doing all that stuff over there. But it's the white communities that are getting torn down by these tornadoes and all the rest of it. How come they're not so affected by climate change? I haven't forgotten about those floods over in Germany. Everybody was biblical. So these dudes trust that we will remain on that merry-go-round of self-pity. That's why you can't go to any black channel and see them talking about anything substantial other than Dr. Shee's 25,000-year cycle or my channel and some others. I'm not mad at people for picking the subject they want to pick, but unfortunately, if you want to hear about how radiation is related to everything, not just to bore you to death, then you're going to have to come to us. Okay? And because I found it really fascinating that they put this, we want to warn you, it's climate change, this is what the UN says, on Dr. Shee's video. And they hadn't had this on there until after I had gone and looked at his video. But we both happened just by coincidence to talk about our changing environment. And then all of a sudden, after I watched his video, they came back and they go, okay, well, let's put one on his too. Because they pay attention. And that means they are also paying attention to those of us who hear our warning about what's going on and have been informing your friends and family. There's a lot of you doing that. Enough to make Raymond get on out there and tell us, climate change, targets or not targets, he didn't say that, but, has a greater effect on black communities. They're just like, they're making it up as they go along because they're losing. And, let me mention the white anti-nukers. I'm not including you when I call you devil. That depends also on what you do. If you do things, because you be anti-nuker and then you're like insisting that, oh my goodness, do you notice how everybody is trying to pull the races apart? We have stayed apart, and yours have never left us alone. So to pretend as if it's a big old kumbaya, we're all one human race party, will wind up in our black obliteration. That makes you a devil. Okay, I'm just saying. If you're gonna give the truth, I ain't mad at you over your skin color. I seek a planet filled with real diversity. Why is it that you want to wipe out all the differences so there's just one dull-looking group of people on the planet? Okay? I'm just saying. Right here, this article is covering the fires going on in Texas. These fires are going to happen more because the radiation is everywhere and it heats stuff up. That's why when they put it into bombs, suddenly it goes from a, just kind of tactical, limited detonation to a conflagration that can wipe out hundreds of square miles because of the radiation that's inside of it. The stuff that they're trying to explain away is, it's just microplastics. Microplastics are what causes every single problem out there. Hell no. This tells you it ain't just the microplastics. Right? Because in Texas right now, I see the same orange sky phenomena happen. Not everywhere. Not as great. Because Texas wasn't as contaminated with Fukushima as other places like this picture. I remember the West Coast. Oh, that sucker was orange for hundreds and hundreds of miles around. Okay? But there's other photos where, like this right here, that don't look good. And this right there, that really doesn't look good. Plutonium is up in there. Cesium is what causes that bandwidth of light to bend so that it changes the entire color of the sky itself. Well, cesium ain't coming all by itself. There's plutonium, there's cesium, there's strontium. All that stuff is right on up in there because you cannot burn radiation. The plants suck it up, the trees suck it up. And then when you burn it, as Dr. Bandashevsky, this is his site, witnessed and warned, it's going to be re-released into the atmosphere. Okay? It's like science. It's a science. It's not because of my opinion. It's a science. And it's a way to shut fools like this up instantly and lose weight, because then you're going to start to feel better about being black. You're going to be like, oh, dang, I hit the jackpot. Right? Rather than, oh my God, are you serious? Every place I go, people are going to look at me like I'm the worst. Who gives a damn? They're actually looking in a mirror at the reflection of their own ineptitude and evil. When they see you, they're just like, oh man, I gotta pretend I'm good. Okay? So this dude, he ain't got no control over a single one of us whatsoever. This type of mind, they're old, they're going. They cannot, once you cannot stand up to the facts, you've lost. There's no conversation possible. You have nothing to offer. Only thing that can keep on happening is people just keep on denying. And denial is not going to cut it at all. All right? All right. I just want to share that with you. Go to 25,000yearcycle.org. Escape the algorithm. Just come right on up in here, and you will see so many ways to leave the lies and the liars behind so you could become the most amazing you there ever is. And let's chat. That's for real. Okay? All right. We love you. They obviously do not. It's time to leave them alone. Peace and blessings.